This is big. The topic is liberate yourself from guilt. I'll tell you that guilt goes so deeply. And because we are eternity, we also have this subtle bodies, mind, intelligence, false ego. So it's false mind, false intelligence, false ego. And that's what surrounds us in a sense, or we're traveling within some like vehicle as we are in this three-dimensional reality, or projecting it or in it, or however that is. So with that subtle mind body, we have an intelligence, we have a thing called memory. Da, da, da. And this is what we have collected and experienced, and also what's been programmed into us subliminally in the unconscious, hypnotic spells, that sort of thing. Because remember, spelling is spell casting. So we're casting spells on ourselves by our thoughts and our words, because we're naturally creative. We're creative beings. That's who we are. So anyway, this guilt thing is so deep because we have that knowing in our memory. Even though different memories can so-called be erased, they're still there. But they're there on a very, very maybe subtle level. And some stronger than others. And one of the persons that I've been working with in mentoring and counseling and such had some guilt from something 15 years ago. And it's something very socially not accepted, and it, yucky for everybody. But whatever it is, you do something, and we've all made mistakes. And that's like one of the problems with alcohol or any kind of a drug addiction or pharmaceutical addiction, or an attention addiction, or whatever it is that person is using to try and feel good. That's basically what it is. Everybody wants to be happy and feel good. So we think if it's, I'll just get the body feeling good, I'll feel good. But it doesn't work that way. So anyway, and I always called, instead of calling it a mistake, call it was your research. And some of the research has already been done, but we're trying to reinvent the wheel all the time by trying to find our pleasure, our happiness, our love, our security and everything in the outer. Whether that's money, other people, the job. Remember, your job is not the source of your income or prosperity. Your self is. And that self, we all have the same self with a capital S, like this. Because we're the same, and we're also different and unique. And that's even every tree is different, and expressing that even in the three-dimensional reality. So the guilt then, and how he's been punishing himself, and he's afraid to go out and do what he wants to be doing because of the guilt. And I've had that myself, and it's that afraid of what will other people say and what will other people think. Well, first of all, you have to get, they're all judging you anyway if they're in their mind. They're all criticizing you anyway if they're envious. And when they say, I'll give you a piece of my mind, don't take it, because it's garbage dump. And when a person comes from who they really are, they're always working for the welfare of all living entities, because we are unified there. And at the same time, we're also individuals where you have that your own reality is what you're agreeing with. So anyway, this guilt then, and you look how deeply it goes, and what we could have done when we raised our children, and in the relationships, and in the job, and in the things you did just to be, part of a group, or you wanted people to like you. So all of the things, and it's even like, if you think about people in the Army, the Navy, all these people, police, whatever, it's also you being trained to kill people. That's basically what it is, to control, to kill, to confine, to do all these things. Why? That's not human. That's not who we are. We don't need to. We're just manifestors. There's no need for envy. If somebody's having what you want, like a loving relationship, say, that's for me. Not I hate you because you're happy and I'm miserable. But what we've been taught, manifestation means having a mansion, having 800 million acres, and they show you all these pictures of the way people, really? You know, you want intimacy? Have a teepee, you know, have a smaller space. Or I always think we each have our own space. I think that's the cool way. You're not always mingling with somebody else's body fluids or somebody else's, because you're taking on their consciousness. And as even when you conceive a child, are you prepared? Is your body healthy? Is it from love, not sex, but love? And if you're then not coming from love and some kind of thing, you could be manifesting just yuck, because it's all vibration. It's that consciousness manifesting itself. So this guilt, how do we free ourselves from this? Is first of all, you have to recognize that it's there, or it is. And you may not have even forgotten, but now guilty if you're white, guilty if you're black, guilty if these are your body colors, or yellow or brown or green or red. What colors? This is like a skin disease. It's like, you're the skin color? Really? Now that's great, divide and separate. No, it's about who you are as a person, as a divine being in this body type. So the guilt thing is when you understand, get it. You're not being who you are because of the guilt and the shame, and you're destroying yourself every day and wishing you could do it over. No, you don't need to do anything over. It's done. That's why those people, when they go to manifest the future, are only looking from what they know that comes from the past. So there's no real original manifestation or creation, because it's all coming from the programmed mind. And now they have mind things that control your mind vibrationally. And then we're going to be able to get everybody thinking the same way, and they'll all tune into their iPhone at the same time, and we'll give them all a certain little message. Really? Isn't this just strange? And you take a look at the beauty of nature. And this is probably just a remnant of what it was before it became tampered with, where it was in its glorious, full self-expression. Yeah. And you're an eternal being, and you have to look at, how long am I going to suffer for this? Get what it is. And when we look at our divine nature, and to not harm another, to not try and control their lives, because you say you don't need control. You're very able to make your own choices, your decision, protect yourself, do whatever you need to do. Oh no, you have to have somebody else do this, because you're not able, and you're not good enough, and you're not smart enough. And you want to be like all these people. You didn't make enough money, so now you feel guilty. You weren't the way other people wanted you to be, so now they're miserable and they're making you to blame for their thing. You know what? The same thing can happen to a whole bunch of people, but each person perceives it in a different way and uses it. And we have to get is, yeah, it's a tough one, this guilt. But we've thought, well, if I just hang on to it and feel it, then I'll punish myself. Well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe the devil made you do it. Now, what does that mean? Well, you know the word live, lived backwards is devil. If you're living backwards, that means you're not living in harmony with your own self, the goodness of who you really are, the intelligence that's here, but we're following the mind. You know, it takes at least 3 people to have an argument, the 2 of you, and then those people in the mind that are saying, you're going to let them talk to you like this? Is this going to happen like this? You know, you got to be right. You don't want to be wrong. You know, you don't want to fail. You want to be a success. All the stuff we hold on to that we think is who we are, and all the beliefs. You've got to drop it. You say, well, if I drop it, I'll do it again. No, you have wisdom. You're a wisdom being. And when we actually look, we have real, you might call it divine, but there's not even a word for it. It's not the collective mental reality that people are manifesting everywhere. That's the mental reality. Emotional, that's programmed. But when you come from yourself, and yourself and myself are the same self, and you and I are different, which is fabulous. And we celebrate because there's variety always, and full self-expression. So to free ourselves from this guilt, we have to look at, I got caught up in it. I let my senses take me. I didn't honor my inner and think, am I respecting all others? But maybe that's a really tough one. You know, I think about my own children and the things I could have done and should have done and would have done, but what did I know? Fixated, looking good, you know, making sure you got this husband and he's not with somebody else. Of course you were. But all of this stuff, our fear, our being alone, all the programming, so far away from who you really are. And there's got to be a time. It got to be now. It's like use time, because time's a concept in a game we play. Put a watch. It says watch it. You got to watch it. Got to push the time clock. Wait, we're making good time. You're traveling. Well, we're making good time. What's good time? Just repetitive words. Same mindset. We're all the same way. Thinking the same thought. No. Yeah, everybody is already one, most of them, on the realm of the programmed false mind concept, machine, manifesting, using us. Stop it. You're an eternal being. You're not going backwards, forward. Be powerful now. And get it? Yep. Hey. If it comes up, yep. I'm not doing it now. That, yep. So, and where did it come from? You see. So how do we stop the abuse? And they say people who have been abused others. Don't do it. And it's like, that's why we need our time alone. But anyway, free yourself from guilt. Once you recognize it, say, well, how long are you going to torture yourself? Who are you afraid of? I'll tell you anyway, people are already criticizing you, judging you every time they look, every time they see you, because they're in their mind. The people who are here, no, they respect you, honor you, they get where you are, and they're in the bliss. They're being who they are. Yes. Let it go.